Travis Wayne Goodsell. So, as today is the day that we are expecting Federal Chief Judge Shelby to render a ruling in regards to the lawsuits against the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in regards to their abuse of tithing, as the church's claims are religious freedom were exempt from prosecution. It's the stupidest thing I ever heard, Oaks. Stupid. Dumbass. In case you missed the previous videos this morning, how's Bednar taking it, Oaks? Getting caught. Busted. Isn't that funny? And so, we're going to go over another tithing video. We have one left for today for tithing. And then we'll see what time we have left to see if we can start the March calendar for the Jews. And in case you're brand new and you've never even bothered to read your Book of Mormon and your Doctrine and Covenants and your Bible, the scriptures are all written in the learning of the Jews, not Christian. And so, oops, there are 4 billion people on the earth who've been conned by the big con man, Roman Emperor Constantine. And so, unfortunately, because of this con, everybody dismisses the work of the Jews, not using the Jewish interpretation to understand the Jewish literature. They all just assume it's crap because they know Christianity is crap. Because Hugh Grant came out with a movie that said it's all crap. So it must be true. No, he was just doing Zeitgeist. I did that review video for you. Long time ago. Well done. Well done. And so, nonetheless, section 42. There are lots of scriptures that Brigham Young forged, claiming they were by Joseph Smith. As a result of the long-standing 200-year tradition of falsehoods, Mormons have no clue what Joseph Smith's religion was actually all about, let alone what's in the Book of Mormon. And so, we're going over Joseph Smith's law of tithing, which is not section 119, in case you're illiterate. I'm expecting not to see anything about priestcraft. If I do, maybe I'm going to have to, burst my faith bubble, or should I reinforce it with more falsehoods to make sure that no Mormon will burst my faith bubble? It amazes me how Mormons think that they can just burst an exfo, nevermo, anti-Mormon, antichrist, apostate, Korahor's faith bubble, as they suppose, and then therefore prove that their faith bubble is the one true faith bubble. And they just don't see it. They just don't see it. If a faith bubble can be bursted, faith bubble ain't truth. You gotta get a real testimony of the physical 5 senses. So, section 42 was February 9th, 1831. And so you've got Bruce R. McConkie who's doing this chapter heading here. And so you need to understand, he needs to defend the church's position of 200 years of tradition, which is technically 50 years of tradition. Wasn't that when Bruce R. McConkie was around? I will know no better then than I know now that I've frauded you all these years. That Jesus is not the Christ. He's not coming. I'm going to burn you in the latter days. I'm going to rise from the grave as a zombie apocalypse. There's no guarantee you're going to be saved. No guarantee. So you got to understand, I've got 8.4K videos after all these years. And so I've been giving you lots of stuff. So I remember them all. I've got them. And I don't always remember to keep putting the same ones in for the different subjects. But nonetheless, I know them. Just because YouTube finally allowed you to see a recommended video of mine and you made the choice of your own free will and agency to click on it, don't think you know better than me. No, you don't. You need to understand before being understood. You need to learn before you can teach. The apprentice must learn to be the master. Right, child faith? So, he puts, as section 42, in 1831, February 9th, 1831. Do you know your chronological order of church history? Kind of important. You don't want to assume that Brigham Young's in the audience. So notice the way Bruce R. McConkie words this. It was received in the presence of 12 elders. Not a Christian bias whatsoever, Brigham. Good job. Or not Brigham, Bruce R. McConkie. And in fulfillment of the Lord's promise previously made that the law would be given in Ohio. When the prophets of this church talk about tithing as the law, they're not referring to section 42. They'll say, well, yeah, it's the same as 119. Don't read it. Don't compare. Just trust us. Dear God. You need to understand that the tithing is in Deuteronomy, the law of the Jews. That's why Joseph is using tithing as the law. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, however, are not. I did that for you. It was for, today's the last day of that month. It was tithing settlement day for the Jews based upon the law in Deuteronomy. Let's bring it up for you, because we're going to need to talk about that also when we do March's Jewish calendar information. I already have one request for that. Actually, it wasn't for that. It was for what was at the bottom, the explosion that we're expecting any day now. Scientists are hoping that it'll happen soon so they can get it recorded and begin to do all of the data research and make plans and predictions for the next 80 years from now when it's expected to again blow. So that's why that's at the bottom. Let's see, tithing settlement. There it is. 15th of Shavat was the 13th of February. I included January with the, Yeah, because January 30th was the first of Shavat. That's why. Okay. We're good. Everything's fine. Tibet Shavat. Mishnah tells us about the fourth new year of the Jews of the trees. This is when they calculated the tithes of all the ingathering of the fruit trees and other stuff that fruits. Because you can generally define fruit as vegetables, I guess. Alright, so that was when I did those videos for you. And so that's what we're talking about here. And when we talk about March, Nelson failed. Will a man rob God? Yet ye have robbed me. Wherein have ye robbed me? In tithes and offerings. Tithing. Malachi is referring to the law of Deuteronomy about calculation of tithing. Okay? And so, lost my place. So that's what Joseph Smith is referring to. He's referring to Scripture. He's not adding stuff and claiming it's his so that he can put Mormons in slavery, commit crimes, all kinds of sins, sex sins, sex crimes, sex. The four-letter word that all Mormons fear and tremble when it's said. S-E-X, 4 letters. Alrighty? And Professor McConkie emphasizes the prophet specifies this revelation as embracing the law of the church. So if you pay attention and you use Jewish interpretation on this whole passage, you'll see that he starts off with, the elders are called to preach the gospel, baptize converts, build up the church. And so, when you understand that baptism is in similitude of planting seed and producing fruits that sprout from the ground, even though it's in water, because of the similitude of the only begotten Osiris who shed his life for us, that Horus may come and save us. And that's why we have the sacrament of the bread and wine of the last day's supper. Yeah, it's a big difference from Christianity, ain't it? We ain't Christian. You got to use Jewish interpretation on all of this. Purge Christianity from your brain. And so that's what he's referring to here. That's why he's going to lead into tithing, with baptism, with the starting of the church, preparing Mormons for the latter days, getting parents sealed together so that they have babies who will eventually produce the Jewish Christ of Mormons, not Jesus. Joseph Smith is Messiah ben Joseph. He is the cornerstone, preparing Mormons for the coming capstone. Another clue for Adar, the month of Adar, the Jewish month, next month, March. It has bombshells. I'm going through it and I'm just going, oh my God, I know. Nobody else knows, it's just me. Crap. It's going to be a very long video. Much like this one if I don't get to this. You know, we have until, I'm expecting after 5. I'm expecting him to call the clerk's office before 5 and say, I've got it, it's coming. You'll have to stay overtime to wait for me. And then he'll do the Friday night news dump. Church is true! Pay your tithing! You know it's coming. He will not be honest in all his dealings as a former Mormon who knows that tithing is not a donation. And so, here it will be. And you'll see how it's different than section 119. But I need to stop talking about how you'll see and get to it. Okay? And so he's doing what Messiah ben Joseph is supposed to do. He's getting everything set up and prepared. He doesn't have a temple yet. That would be another 5 more years. And so this is just the initial plowing of the fields, planting the seeds, and anybody who begins to sprout gathers them up in churches, congregations. And baptism is the whole symbolism for the whole operation, that is to help Mormons understand what the church is all about. They must be called and ordained. He's setting it all up. The restoration of the priesthood. Not the gospel. Gospel already exists in print. There's no restoration of the gospel. It's been around the whole time. In case you don't know, the church claims the restoration of the gospel was by Joseph. Priesthood. He is Messiah ben Joseph. Egypt, and are to teach the principles of the gospel found in the scriptures. Can you find how this church has their succession? You won't. There's a lot of things you won't find in scriptures. And so that's why Brigham forged documents. Oh, there it is. It's in scripture now. Wait, where is monogamy? There used to be monogamy in section 100, or the 1835 Doctrine and Covenants Brigham. Where's monogamy? No, we took it out. I'm about to die, and I wanted to make sure that the real law of Joseph, see, it says Joseph. I could never have forged him. Even though I said in 1874 that Joseph Smith was too stupid to practice polygamy. And it was all me. And of course all expo nevermos miss it. Anyway, I continue to digress. And they are to teach and prophesy by the power of the Spirit. You know, and which is now the Holy Ghost, and nobody understands what the Spirit is. It's the same thing with baptism. Seed is the Word. It's Spirit. And you gotta produce the fruits. So if you're told to build a boat, you don't get a spiritual witness feeling that building a boat is true and not build a boat. The Book of Mormon is true, and I'm not going to do the study to research to find out how. I'm just going to tell everybody it is and then get angry with them if they don't believe me. Because it's Christian, not Jewish. Travis is wrong. Saints are commanded not to kill, steal, lie, lust, commit adultery. No, you dumbass, Bruce. Or speak evil against others. He thinks he set me up. Nope, you're a dumbass. And it's a righteous judgment. Because your fruits are spoiled rotten. And so, yeah, where does that come from, Mormons? Where does that come from? Thou shalt not kill, which is incorrectly translated. It's murder, not kill, because kill is self-defense. Oh no, I can't defend myself. Oh no, Superman, you can't kill him. You'll be just like the enemy, who's mass murdered millions of people. Don't do it, Superman. Don't stoop to his level. Don't save us, Superman. You're ruining the comics. Stupid psychology. Yeah, it's the Jewish commandments about the Jewish Christ, not Jesus. Jesus came after the Jews and their 10 commandments of having no other Christ before the man like Moses in Deuteronomy 18 verse 15. Jesus is the false idol God Christ created by Christians of Constantine. It is not complicated. Keep things in chronological order. Even Matthew and the New Testament were all written before Constantine appeared and was born. They are Jewish too. You need to interpret the New Testament as Jewish. 2 Nephi chapter 29. A Bible, we have a Bible, and we need no more Bible. What are you talking about, you dumbass Christian? You stole it from the Jews and you turned it Christian. You rejected a whole bunch because it didn't conform with your new interpretation. God. So yeah, lust, no, he took that out of context. Joseph is using the Sermon on the Mount, whereas it said before time, if you commit adultery, no committing adultery. But I say unto you, whoso lusteth after a woman hath denied the Spirit and the faith, and blah, 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 or whatever it is. I don't memorize, but that's what he's referring to. And you forget, adultery cannot be done with virgins. There's a reason why, and it has to do with the definition. And it even has to do with the general principle, the eternal law of seed producing fruit, the vegetation theory, in which to adulterate is to corrupt. And so you have a seed, and then you corrupt it, adulterate it, and now it's corrupt. That's what they're talking about with the meaning with using adultery. It has to do with a woman who's produced fruit by a man, and then another man plants his seed in the woman. She's now adulterated, corrupted. That is the use of the meaning. And so when Jesus adds, whosoever lusteth after a woman, what he is saying is it's not lusting that's wrong, because we're humans. If we didn't have that sexual desire in our frontal cortex, the human race would die and cease to exist. I just saw a woman on a YouTube video that was recommended to me about how she's saying, men only want one thing. It's not money, it's not power, and it's a short, so they cut me off. But the feminazi movement has tried to convince women that when a guy wants sex with them, that they're evil predators. They need to turn it off rather than learning to live in a society where there's communication and we all get taught sex ed, blah, blah, blah. And so lust has to do with a woman who's had babies. That's why they say woman. They don't say virgin. You can lust after virgins all you want. No! No! But you need to understand, if you've got a wife, you need to love her. Cleave unto her, so says the Bible. Cleave means, sex ed. There's a whole bunch of sex ed in the Bible. In the Book of Mormon. You gotta know how to look for it. You gotta know. So, anyway, we're digressing because we're nearing the 30-minute mark. And then here we go in 30. Okay? So that's where we need to start. Because I technically have 31 because I wasn't happy with 30. But nonetheless, this helps you understand what Joseph Smith is using tithing for. So we do need to use it. But it's again repeated in 31 better than in 30. So 30 says, "And behold, thou wilt remember the poor, and consecrate of thy properties for their support." How hard is that to understand? Joseph Smith used tithing to care for the poor and the needy, to support them. Not extort them, to do Joseph a favor though, or get a job, then we'll give you support. And it's not for Joseph, for priestcraft. It's for the poor. How hard is this? This conforms with the Book of Mormon. Don't commit priestcrafts. Don't kick out people because of their poverty. Not paying tithing. How hard is this to figure out? How can you sit there and say Section 119 is the true law of tithing, that it's a donation, and not know what it says? Dear God, this conforms to Malachi. This conforms to Joseph of Egypt. As Bednar comes out last night with that crap, diverting you. That's another tithing I could do. Crap. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Bednar. Yeah. He purposely deceived you to merge donations and tithing together. Because the giving machine money doesn't go to Ensign Peak Advisors. I'm assuming you watched it, because I'm sure they've got billions of views. I mean, dear God, seriously, Mormons, are you this illiterate to not see the difference? And I just covered one verse. Not even the whole verse yet. And already, this destroys Section 119. And so, Joseph Smith adds some stuff here, which thou hast to impart unto them, so that when you give tithing with a covenant and a deed which cannot be broken, so they can trace if you poison the poor. Here in Utah, dear God, the food bank, they don't have time to go through and analyze every donation. And so you hear in the news, oh no, somebody put I don't want to say heroin, marijuana candies, and they gave it out to kids, and kids overdosed on them. How could Mormons be so cruel to hate mankind so much, to think it's hilarious to poison other human beings and little children? Unfortunately, because of the human factor, yeah, there will be a type of system for who gave what to the storehouse. I'm talking about Zion because that's what Joseph is doing here. He's setting the blueprints for Zion. This is where I got it from, even though I'm going over this for the first time right now, even though I've gone over it before, but that was decades ago. This is where my associative memory comes in. I remember from the Spirit that there's something here, and when I go over it, there it is, fruit. It's the same eternal pattern. This creatio ex nihilo crap of a Big Bang that nobody's even tested. I mean, at least in Fantastic Four, they at least tested their theory. Burned the kid's plane. And shattered the backboard. Yeah! Shattering the backboard is cool. That's why it was banned in high school. No slamming of the basketball. No hanging on the rim. Like they do in those professional leagues and college leagues. Oh, boo. All right, so 31. And inasmuch as ye impart of your substance unto the poor, ye will do it unto me. See, in this situation, you have members of the church who make a living for themselves. And he's going to explain that the excess goes to the storehouse. Was that necessary? Is there anybody listening still? And so the poor, they don't have land, therefore they're not producing crops. You need to understand also that Joseph Smith comes from a family in which, in Vermont, father was unable to get crops growing. He had 3 years in a row of failed crops. It's not because he's lazy, or deadbeat dad. No, it's because the crops failed. One of those years was because of the volcano eruption out in the Philippines, if you know about that. And so because of their poverty, they were kicked out of the land of Vermont. Now see what Brigham Young is going to do to you if they get their kingdom back under Nelson or Oakes, whoever dies first. Okay? This is why you need to be terrified of this church. If they get their kingdom back in a coming day, March 4th, that's the next thing to watch for. You know, Oakes came out after New Year's and said, okay, that failed, so the next one, don't fear the reaper. You'll be resurrected for the first resurrection if you keep paying your tithing. We promise it won't hurt that much. Mormons just go, yay, I'm going to die for Jesus. Alrighty. Inasmuch as you impart your substance unto the poor, you will do it unto me. You know that scripture? Inasmuch as you do it unto the least of these, my brethren, you have done it unto me. This is what he's talking about. He's using poverty here. If you neglect those who are poor, it's like you're doing it unto the Christ, Joseph Smith, Messiah ben Joseph, and for the future Mormons, for the latter days, for their Messiah ben David. A Mormon. All within the church. No collab stuff involved. You misunderstood using Christian literal history on that. And so it's also important to understand, because the Book of Mormon goes over and 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 over how you can't neglect the poor. Ezekiel 16 talks about Sodom fell not because of homosexuality, because they neglected the poor. Because David Gaunt voiced a dissent, still homosexuality in there. David, we're supposed to footnote scriptures, not your opinion of homophobia. But there was a guide to the scriptures on homophobia, I mean homosexuality. But again, you can't do that. Just because there's something in the guide to the scriptures doesn't mean that the scripture has to go to it if it's not meant in the scripture. You know, it's like putting guide to the scriptures, Jesus Christ, second coming of, when it says the man like Moses, the Jewish Christ. Can't do that. And so this is also part of the book of the law. This is going to be a long video. Crap. Which is section 85, which Brigham Young had his own. Nelson rushed it out for Thanksgiving in 2023. And I did the 6-hour video series destroying it. Thanks for the list of those who don't get to go to Zion, Nelson. Right, Sister Mendenhall, homewrecker. And they shall be laid before the bishop of my church and his counselors. 2 of the elders or high priests, such as he shall appoint or has appointed and set apart for that purpose. Did you hear what that said? Such as he shall appoint or has appointed and set apart for that purpose. Notice it's not Joseph. Now, Joseph would come to regret this as the enemy came into the church and tried to abuse this, and so Joseph had to fix that problem because there were people who were getting called to multiple callings. And so, are they a bishop, or are they of the elders' quorum, or are they in the high priests? Are they a member of the 12, or are they a member of the administration 12, or are they of the 70, etc.? And so Joseph had to be in charge of all of the approvals and appointments after that. But was in the beginning until after 1838, in which all hell broke loose that year. But that's what the enemy looks for. They look for loopholes to expose and exploit them to destroy Joseph Smith. And that's what they were doing with that. And so Joseph had to then do damage control to fix the exploited thing. But nonetheless, we will make sure that Zion will not be exploited. 32, and it shall come to pass. Now, what's complicated about understanding that that's not for Joseph Smith? That is the future. that after they are laid before the bishop of my church, and after that he has received these testimonies concerning the consecrations of the properties of my church, because we need to know that you are providing for the storehouse. And it's not for the poor, because there will be no poor in Zion. It's for you. And you give for others, and others give for you. This is the economy of Zion. No monetary system of economy. That comes after no priestcraft, no monetary system of economy. Back in Joseph's day, they still had money. You still needed to go to the market to buy other things. And so if you had a farm, you then went to the marketplace to sell your wares, and then you get money for what you sold, and then you're supposed to be able to buy other stuff that you need so that you can continue to live. The poor are out of the loop on that marketplace stuff. And so, thus, money is also being given to Joseph Smith's storehouse. So that if there's an item that's lacking, the money is then used to purchase that lacking item. Zion is slightly different because there's no monetary system of economy. I mean, you can give your money to the storehouse, but it will just be spent. But nobody will have jobs to get further money. It will work perfectly, and it will also keep out those who want to destroy Zion with a monetary system of economy. Let's see. They cannot be taken from the church, real commandments, made accountable unto me. And so, yeah, you can't give crap to the storehouse. This is what our current economy does. Businesses are all about making profit. And so they pay their employees as cheap as possible. They charge as much for the products as they can. And they produce poorer quality products that break down so that we, the consumer, have to repurchase them repeatedly to keep the money flowing into the company, or have to pay for some type of mechanic or repairman to help the economy grow and provide jobs for people. All that is unnecessary when there's no monetary system of economy. Everybody can make a product that literally can last a lifetime and beyond. There is no reason to make poor quality products that have to keep being replaced. All of that is gone when there's no monetary system of economy. And so thus, you give to the storehouse what you would want them to give to you. Have you heard that in Sunday school? Person is told he's going to build a house for somebody, and so he builds it. And depending on who the storyteller is, you can say, he cuts corners, cuts costs, misses a few screws here and there. And then when it's all finished, the guy comes to inspect it and says, "Oh, thanks, here are the keys, it's yours." That's Zion. And so if you do unto others as you would have them do unto you, impart of your substance to others in Zion as you will do it unto, as they will do it unto. It fits. Trust me. It's a different scripture, but nonetheless, same concept. And so, yeah, in this one, it's favoritism. That if you knew it was for Jesus, oh, you'd make it the best ever. Whereas if it were the poor, they have to take what they're given. What is that stupid quote? Beggars can't be choosers. Yes, they can. And so, yeah, combine the two scriptures together and it's perfect. Moving on. Let's see. Accountable unto me is steward over his own property. And so, yes. And he gets into that with if you have more than you need, give it to the storehouse. And this is where insecurity comes in. Financial insecurity, basic necessities insecurity. The poor have this. And so when they're finally given an opportunity to eat, for example, and they're told to help yourself, whatever's there, go ahead. Yeah, they'll overindulge because they know they may never get this opportunity again. They've got that food insecurity with them. And so they overindulge when they finally get something. We need to help Mormons who come to Zion who've had food insecurity for who knows however long, and other property insecurities, to understand all of that is gone now. Everything you need, everything you want is available for you. This is not 119. No more insecurities. See, with 119, there's going to be insecurities. You have to pay the church with your labor. And there's no guarantee they're going to be happy with you. Farm boy, fetch me that pitcher. As you wish. Oops, I dropped my purse. Farm boy, pick it up. No, get your own purse. I'm out of here. Who will do everything for me? That's The Princess Bride Part 2. You didn't see that one? She thought they were role-playing. He took it seriously. Alright, where are we? So that's where stewardship comes from. Keep it in the context of verse 30 or 31. That you need to provide good quality products. You can't provide spoiled, rotten food, for example. We need to figure out a way to avoid the human factor for food and stuff, because that's where your bird flu comes in. Is that they're not properly cared for, animals aren't properly cared for, you get poor quality labor, and so there's no hard labor anymore. We have robotic technologies that have automated systems, and so no humans can be tampering with any of this. And so there are farming techniques that can be done to make things faster, better, stronger. You can rebuild them. See, even my cousin, he was involved in improving the quality of tomatoes. I believe it was tomatoes. Producing bigger tomatoes like a Idaho potato. Because that soil, you can't beat that soil. We're going to have to go in and dig up all of Idaho and bring it with us to Zion. I'll put you in charge of that, Idaho chick. There you go. There's your assignment. All right, let's see. Steward, receive consecration. And so that's consecration, not that temple law of consecration crap where you're a slave to Jesus. As much as is sufficient for himself and family. And so again, with the insecurity thing, yeah, there's a tendency to initially overindulge, but eventually you'll figure out what you need and what you want. You know, you need 10 Twinkies per day, and then you want a slight buffer just in case you wake up in the middle of the night and have the cravings. Anything more than that, you can give back to the storehouse. And so that's the system, is that when you need something, you just place your order, you get it. That's simple. That's how it would be designed. I'm allowed to do this. And so you can't hoard property. You know, when a hurricane has hit the beach, all of a sudden everybody goes, oh, wow, it's real. I didn't think it was real. And they immediately steal from the grocery stores and the convenience stores. I'm sure they buy it. They don't loot. But yeah, they empty out the shelves. And so if you're slow and weak, you lose out. Whereas everybody else is able to, you know, get stuff, only lose a few limbs here and there, but they weren't prepared. And so in this particular case, you'll already have everything that you need and want. And so when you start to run low, you just say, I need more of this. There's no reason to do bulk Costco year-long supplies anymore. The storehouse is your year's supply, and it will be designed accordingly, so that when it starts to get low for certain items, it gets instantly replaced, so that it would never reach the danger point. And so there is no reason for you to use your place to store a whole bunch of stuff. Now, bishops already understand this, and they're happy for it because of all the paperwork and stuff. They just want one paper for a certificate for ordination. They don't need a whole packet of 100. They don't have enough members and don't have enough prospective members to become prospective elders. They just want one. And the church won't do it online so that they can just print it out. Because they have to have people work at the distribution center warehouse pick lines. All right, so that's what that one's talking about. 33, and again, if there shall be properties in the hands of the church or any individual of it, more than is necessary for their support after this first consecration, which is the residue to be consecrated unto the bishop. So people already get what they need and want. If they farm beets, I don't know who would want to buy beets, but nonetheless, you get for yourself and your family, then you take the rest to the market to sell so that you can then buy other stuff that you guys need, because you can't live on beets alone. You can't even live on beets. An Idaho potato, sure. Not a beet. And then you take the leftovers to the storehouse. That's the residue. And so all the beets that didn't get sold, to the storehouse. All the money that didn't get spent, to the storehouse. but there won't be money in Zion. But that's the residue he's talking about. It shall be kept to administer to those who have not, from time to time, that every man who has need may be amply supplied and receive according to his wants. And so according to this, if you have a farm and you're farming, and during the winter time, oh no, you ran out of sugar, you can go to the storehouse and say, we just need some sugar to carry us through the winter. Here you go. That was Joseph's economy. That was Joseph's plan. Not Section 119. And so the residue shall be kept in my storehouse to administer to the poor and the needy, so shall be appointed, as shall be appointed by the High Council. It's not the Stake High Council. That was Brigham's change. This is the presiding administrative High Council 12. Along with the bishop and his council. Big difference. Big difference. And for the purpose of purchasing lands, and for the benefit of the church, and building houses of worship, and building up of the New Jerusalem, which is hereafter to be revealed. 19 July 1840. Not Independence, Missouri. That was the Danites who told you that. That my covenant people may be gathered in one in that day. See how this is all keeping on the same theme. He's Messiah ben Joseph. He's preparing Mormons for the coming of Messiah ben David, who's a Mormon, to set up New Jerusalem, Zion, with this pattern for the economy. That my covenant people may be gathered in one in that day when I shall come to my temple. Notice how Joseph Smith says, I shall come. Hilarious. It's Jesus. See, Joseph Smith did it too. Kirtland Temple was the pattern symbolism. When a man like Moses came in his four different names, Jehovah, Moses, Elishua, which was an error as Elias, and then Elijah. Yeah, they're all the same guy. You gotta know Hebrew. Not biblical Hebrew, Paleo Hebrew. Remove the vowels and the vowel points. Alright? So it's needing to set up a temple. This is Messiah ben Joseph. And, yep, sure enough, he was murdered by the enemy who stole his temple, changed the ordinances, and then practiced prostituting the Mormon women. Huh. So Messiah ben David is to say, stop that, give it to me, it's not yours, you're robbing me. Robbing Mormons. We're building Zion. And that's what he's talking about here. And as much as you do it unto the least of these, you've done it unto me. There it is. That's actually a repeat of the other one, wasn't it? Yeah, the poor. Yeah, okay, never mind. Do unto others as you would have them do unto me. And do to you. For it shall come to pass that which I spake by the mouths of my prophets shall be fulfilled. For I will consecrate of the riches of those who embrace my gospel among the Christians unto the poor of my people who are Mormon. Interesting. And yet it's the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints who has stolen the Christian converts' money and other illegal operations that are hoarding it, that they need to hand it over. And so yes, I am very well aware of what Trump then did. After first announcing no sanctuary cities in the United States of America, oh no, how are we ever going to have sanctuary city Zion? My prayers were answered. The gold card! But we can't pay for them unless the church transfers the money to me. So I can do that. But I'm very well aware of what happened there. And that was wild. Cool. Awesome. So, yep, we now know how to get Mormons outside of Utah, outside of the United States, and get them to Zion if they want to come. If they want to destroy Zion and keep the church's plan of happiness, no, stay where you are. We don't want you in Zion. You're going to destroy it. I'd still be curious to keep in touch with this church if it continues to exist and we're allowed to go build Zion with all of the money necessary to build it, so it can be self-sufficient, self-sustaining here, as to how long it would last, to show the quality of fruit produced from obedience to Section 119 in its fullest. I'm very curious to know. Would it be 1 day, 1 hour? Before the Mormons rise up in rebellion and burn them as Abinadi? Ooh, that's gotta hurt, Nelson. Good thing you've got Jesus to resurrect you. Because what would be the trigger? Would it be the leaders of the church putting the elders in slavery? Would it be their poor, impoverished conditions while the leaders live the life of luxury? Will it be that the leaders steal their wives, leave them without one? Would it be the poor quality of living? What would it be? What would be the trigger that would destroy Nelson Zion? What would it be? How long would it last? What would be that trigger? Because the church ain't bringing back brothels. Just to let you know in advance. If you think you'll have a brothel, that you don't need a wife. Sorry to disappoint you. Would it be, eunuchs? Would that trigger it? Oh my God. Oh man. And so, yeah, I think we're pretty much done. He goes on to talk about some other stuff of a scriptural nature that does apply to this concept, resurrection, in the concept of restoration. That's Messiah ben David. Joseph erected, Brigham Young insurrected, and then spoiler alert, I've already produced the results. All you have to do is test me by my fruits. and then I resurrect. What do you think I'm doing here? This was dead and gone and buried. I'm bringing it back. Nobody else is. Okay? And so then we'll go to section 85 for the book of the law as to how that's going to work. And so it shall come to pass that I, the Lord God, will raise up one like unto Moses. Calls him the one mighty and strong here. On purpose, because there's a couple other scriptures that talk about one mighty and strong, even the Book of Mormon. Holding scepter of power in his hand, clothed with life for covering, other words, eternal words, with bowels of fountain of truth, to set in order the house of God. That is Messiah ben David. What Brigham Young did is what the Jews called to what the Greeks did, exactly the same, as the abomination of desolation. So when the Maccabees took back the temple and thus established Hanukkah, they set in order the house of God, the temple. And so for you, we're not going to have a temple and then cities. The city is the temple. You are the temple. The house for the Christ is your house too. You are joint heirs with Christ. You live in the same city, temple, with the Christ. You are all equals. Nobody's above anybody else. Also necessary to save Zion and make it last for as long as possible. No monetary system of economy, so that there's no rich and poor, and no power structure, so that people lust for power. Rather than those pregnant women. Wow. Pregnant women are so hot. Alright, they are. I like pregnant women. They're very attractive. I want to see fashion and pregnancy outfits too. All, yeah, beautiful. Women are the map to Zion, literally. Nobody's ever wanted to know the map to Zion. Everybody thinks they know, and they don't know. You don't know. Nobody wants to know. Because it's porn. The map to Zion is porn. That's why the church covers it up and hides it. And to arrange by lot the inheritances of the saints. It's not the clerk. He doesn't have authority to do this. Dear God. It's not the bishop either. Bishop has no authority to touch the temple. That is Messiah ben David only. And to arrange by lot the inheritances of the saints, whose names are found, and the names of their fathers and of their children enrolled in the book of the law of God. This has not been made. You do not have a guarantee of going to Zion yet. The membership records, nope. That's not good enough. For you to get to go to Zion requires me to put out the call in section 133. You have to be a believer in the learning of the Jews. You cannot come to Zion saying Jesus is the Christ. You'll get booted out real quick, because you are seeking to destroy Zion with false belief systems. You must purge yourself of Christianity to come to Zion. No unbelievers, verse 9. And yes, you'll be wailing and using sarcasm. But you will not be in Zion doing that. You'll be back out in the burning world. Burning Man. Wicker Man. A good movie. Kind of scary. Alright. And so, this is the call out. This is not the call out, but this is the call out. You want to wait until I give you the call out. So like I said, the church has to fall. The transfer has to be given to me. The whole world needs to know about it because YouTube is silencing my channel. Nobody knows about me. So a transfer needs to be made. And with this transfer, Mormons will then be given the opportunity to choose to come to Zion. I will then go to Trump and say how much for the gold cards of bulk price for all Mormons scattered around the world. And thus, by paying for your immigration, you're in. Brilliant. Way to go, Trump. Trump is King Cyrus. He's got the coin. Okay? And so this has to happen first to all the stakes around the world, to let the people in their area know, even especially those who left the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, because they know that the church lies and denies and holds you hostage and takes your money and all that stuff. You get to come to Zion too. We have your membership record still. Even if you're excommunicated, we still have your recommend. And so, this call will go out, and everybody around the world will know of it. With the church falling, it will be worldwide news. Everyone will know I'm taking over. And that I'm going to restore the religion. That I went to Trump and have to smooge him. Oh, Trump, you are the greatest. This gold card idea was brilliant. How much for a group package to get all Mormons from around the world? There you go. Because money is worthless in Zion. Thus the need for the transfer. Church has been hoarding the money. They say they're giving it to Messiah ben David when he comes. He's here. Hand it over. You know it's not Jesus. So, and that's why I wanted to do a friend of the court with Shelby, and Edward is gone. I tried to contact him a week later, see what happened, and no response. He's gone. What the hell? Because I would have expected that if the guy agreed to do the friend of the court brief, that he would do it on my name's behalf rather than your name's behalf, so that there would be no need for you to keep things a secret from me. But I'm concerned. All that was required was to let Judge Shelby know, hey, Section 119, the law. And it's different than Joseph Smith's law. So, yeah, I don't know. But today we're expecting a decision. And I'm betting after 5. Because if he does it earlier, then everybody will know about it, and he may not make it home. It's for his safety, too. All the people who are upset with this church and yell at basketball games, bleat Mormons, Everybody's pissed with this church being filthy rich. Nobody likes mega churches. Telling people that they need to pay them or Jesus is going to murder them if they don't buy another yacht. Or that he has to get a new camera to record his wife doing the pool boy. People are fed up with religion. Stealing people's money, claiming that it's a prosperity gospel, and committing all sorts of sins and crimes, which, yeah, Brigham Young, Section 132, yeah, you can do whatever you want, just don't murder anybody. You just call it self-defense, and then you're good to go. Anything you do, you'll still go to the celestial kingdom. You know, you might be buffered by Satan in this life, but... You mean prison? For committing crimes? Brigham, you dumbass. And there are Mormons who know about that, and they purposely do whatever they want to do, knowing that Brigham Young said so, so I'm going to do it. You do not get to go to Zion. But these are Mormons who still look for loopholes in the system to exploit them, to get away with stuff. God. All right, so then, everybody knows now. And so the stake presidents get this letter, and they'll have to translate it to whatever language needed. Hearken, O ye people of my church, saith the Lord your God, and hear the words of the Lord concerning you. The Lord who shall suddenly come to his temple, the Lord who shall come down upon the world with a curse to judgment. Yea, upon all the nations that forget God, and upon all the ungodly among you. For he shall make bare his holy arm in the eyes of all the nations, and all the ends of the earth shall see the salvation of their God. Wherefore, prepare ye, O my people. Sanctify yourselves, gather ye together, O ye people of my church, unto the land of Zion. All you that have not been commanded to tarry, because you're wicked. Go ye out from Babylon. Be ye clean that bear the vessels of the Lord. That's the temple vessels, symbolically being used here. Call your solemn assemblies, and speak often one to another, and let every man call upon the name of the Lord. Yea, verily I say unto you again, the time has come when the voice of the Lord is unto you. Go ye out of Babylon, gather ye out from among the nations, from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. That is the keys of the man like Moses, who is the head of this church. In case you missed it. Alrighty. That is it. And I will put it in my own words. And so every stake president will get this. It will be given to the bishops who want to go, because Mormons are going to be faced with a situation. Oh no, the church is gone from the face of the earth. It's not true. How the hell did that happen? Where's Jesus? He's still taking a piss. Very long piss. Elijah versus the priest of Baal. Which last year you guys missed it. It was awesome last year. You missed it. Okay? And so, each of the bishops will then do interviews of those who want to go to Zion. So, thus, those who want to be Mormon of the Church of the Lamb, not the church of the devil of Babylon. What is Babylon, Bruce R. McConkie? You didn't decode it for us. In verse 1, or section 1, verse 16, which Babylon is that? It seems to be a religion. Is it the Catholic Church? Are Mormons in the Catholic Church? Which church is it, Bruce? And so then they'll make a record from the membership records of who wants to go. He will let you know there will be no monetary system of economy. You will have to give up your job. You will have to give up your career if you want to come to Zion. I'm expecting that to be a big deal breaker for many who are well established. You know, the rich. It is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter into Zion, because they've got a lot of wealth and they don't want to give it up and share. See how it's all fitting together now? No rich or poor in Zion. The rich man will still get everything they need and want. They just won't be hoarding anymore. And you don't judge other people. Well, they aren't deserving of good quality products. We can't allow the poor to buy fruits and vegetables with SNAP money. They've got to stick to sugar. That's cheap. Let them drink Drano. No more abuse. No judging. You don't try to be like the Joneses anymore. You do you. Let others do them. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Inasmuch as you do it unto the least of these others in Zion, you're doing it to me, because I'm with you too. Cut it out. Okay, see how different this is from section 119 and Brigham Young's Temple Covenant Paths. This is completely night and day different. And so, because I've purchased the gold card for you, if you're out of the United States, yeah, we'll see about getting the nations to get planes to carry you to Zion. We'll probably have to do some loader trucks, you know, like the mail trucks and shipping trucks or shipping planes and stuff like that, so that you can put in vehicles of your property and stuff to bring it to Zion for the storehouse after your needs and wants are taken care of. But again, all of this is dependent on the church falling and the transfer to me. So, church, if you're listening, if Shelby says bleep you, you do say in the Articles of Incorporation that you will divert the money to an individual. Do it to me. Section 85 says you can't go to Zion. It's not me. I would let you. Even after all the attempted murders of me. But yeah, I don't know. That's the dilemma he has, is that he knows he has to say, no, this is wrong. You're abusing the system. You're abusing the First Amendment. And then, so what do we do now? Because you can't have millions of Mormons all around the world now suing the church. Is it just going to be the American Mormons? That the ones outside of America get screwed? as the rich? Or do the rich get a higher percentage of the restitution of damages? You know, I mean, seriously, there's no way there can be a civil lawsuit, even a combined group lawsuit, for the damages done to Mormons. You know, do ex-Mormons and former Mormons get to apply too? There's just no way that that can be done orderly in this current justice system. And so yes, the best, simplest way, transfer it to me, and then those who want to continue to be Mormon under Joseph Smith in the Book of Mormon can go to Zion with the true law of tithing. Okay? And so then, yeah, all the stakes would go together. One big caravan, panicking Fox News. It's okay, Fox, breathe. They've got the gold card of Trump. See how perfect it is? See how perfect it's working? No illegals. They've got the gold card. Breathe, Fox, breathe. And then we all go to Zion and we build it. And then everybody lives happily ever after. But because of the hatred that everybody around the world has for Mormons, nobody's going to touch us. I'm hoping. There may be situations where you better not be wearing your underwear. I'm warning you in advance, again. Because if people see the underwear, they're going to go, Mormon! And they may not have heard the news that went all around the world. The church fell. So understand that. Say that you were victims, and then people will go, oh, okay. Hopefully. You may want to talk with Bednar, who knows how to manipulate communication, to get a living prophet of Jesus to take drugs to cause tardive dyskinesia. That is hilarious. Hilarious. Oh my God. Alrighty, so that's the plan from Scripture, from prophecy. And so we'll see how it's going to actually turn out, though. But yeah, that's why I keep doing the same pictures for you over and over again, so that when you watch this video, then you go and watch other videos, you are reminded, oh yeah, that's the picture from that video about that. So that you'll understand what I mean by the Corona Borealis T, whatever it was, that is expected to burst anytime now. Birth of 1 billion babies in outer space. Okay? Big difference in tithing. And there's lots of details that I haven't put into this video about the process, but we're still waiting to see how it will be done. But generally, once you guys arrive in Zion, the stake president, and it'll have to be done by bishops first, depending on the number of people, he will come in, present the book of the law that he will have already sent to me, that I will know who's coming and when you guys are coming, so that we can be prepared for you, so that we can make sure that all of the stages are set up for you. There will be a place for medical, so that you can all get your physicals. Again, everything you need, everything you want. It's not just for property. Your health. You now can get better health care in Zion. And so you'll go and get a full physical, and then there'll be a place for food, and you'll have a designated lot. I'm hoping to have temporary shelters made, which will be a stage up from tent cities. But that's why they call it tabernacles for the Jews, because the Jews left and they built the tent city and built the tabernacle in preparation for the building of Zion. But Mormons wanted to build a cow of gold and have orgy sex and ruin everything. No Zion for you. Have to wait for Jesus to take you across the River Jordan. Jewish, remember? This is Jewish humor. Jesus is Joshua. And it's not historically accurate. Made so by Constantine. I shouldn't have to explain the jokes. And so then after that, and then showers and restrooms galore for each and every location. And so then, once we get everybody to Zion, and we know who's got which talents to share with Zion, then, and likewise, you bring your property and thus use that until your place is built, and then storehouse for the rest that survives. And so, yes, there will be provisions for that. But then you'll be, once we know who's going to build, and they know what they're building and how they're building it, then those who are elderly, single mothers, orphan children even, and disabled, they get to go first to have their homes built. And so they will come in and they will tell us what they want their design of their home to be. And they will sit down, and if they don't know because they've never had it, then they'll say, well, what do you like to do? What would you like to do? If you had the opportunity, what would you like to do? Oh, I'd like to go swimming. Okay, well, we'll put a swimming pool in your house. Or just a jacuzzi if you just want a jacuzzi. Those kinds of things. You know, Idaho chick, she wants a mountain. Okay. Zion will be a mountain. That's going to be the cool part about it. It is the mountain cities of the Lord. And sure enough, when I finally found 19 July 1840, there it is. The vision that I had for the design matched Joseph Smith. And so we are simpatico. And so, yeah, everything you need, everything you want. None of this, well, I don't deserve it, I am unworthy scum. You're in Zion. You're perfect. Deal with it. What do you want? I don't know. Do I deserve chocolate? Or do I have to settle for vanilla? You can have both. What do you want? If you get the right vanilla, though, that one's good. I can't remember which brand of vanilla it was, though. That was very good. But anyway, most of them are bland. Got to dump on the chocolate sauce or the caramel sauce, or mix bananas and strawberries and raspberries and whipped cream all over the place. Getting hungry. Hey, it's noon. Okay. So yeah, that's the way it is. The book of the law, that's how that works. The bishop gets the book of the law for his ward. And it, like I said, if you hear about it, because you're going to hear about it, the whole world will hear about it. If the church falls, everybody will know. Everybody hears when the church is being sued. Even though we all know the judges are going to favor the church. But, yeah, if you want to become Mormon, you can become Mormon. We'll add you to the gold card list. Or if you're already in America, you get to come. And so, yes, if you are undocumented and on Trump's hit list, don't think you're going to escape and then screw over Zion. But yeah, you will get a gold card if you're already Mormon and you're undocumented because the church sabotaged you into coming to Utah. And gold card. Brilliant idea, Trump. Brilliant idea. But no Venezuelan gangs, no criminals. And it's going to be tough with broken homes, unbelieving spouses. That's going to be tough. But that's what the bishop will have to decide. And that's going to be tragic in those situations where you get one spouse who wants to be a Danite and doesn't want to go. And extorts the kids on top of it. Just cruel. I quiver over what Mormons will do when the church falls and they find out that there's Zion, but it's not the Zion they were expecting. And that they purposely want to destroy their relationships just so that if they can't have their Zion, nobody will. Just cruel. So, yeah, be aware of that condition as well. That, if you were excommunicated because of stupid stuff, non-criminal stuff, you can still come to Zion. The bishop is not going to be asking the 10 questions, or how many questions there are. It is not a worthiness thing. You just have to understand there's no monetary system of economy in Zion. You come, you cannot violate it. You can't have an underground economy going. You will be booted out. And you will be leaving with nothing. You want to stay in Zion? We'll take care of you. But if you screw it up to destroy it, you're out. And you get nothing with you on the way out. Maybe I'll be kind enough to give you a backpack with a day's supply of water and whatever. But you made a promise to be a Zion person, pure in heart, wanting to help others build Zion, to believe in the Jewish interpretation. If you try to think you're going to come and destroy it with anti-science, psychology, and astrotheology crap, science only, hard science, not this misdefined science to destroy science. Real medical doctors, real physics, real theory tests, real history, not fake revisionist history. And so yes, I will be involved in lots of different projects once we get everybody to Zion and get things underway, because then I can then start contributing in other ways. Okay, I think that's it. But yeah, they have the book of the law, they send it to me. When you get there, I match. And so if you pick people up along the highways, because that's in scripture, I've done those videos, then yeah, you just notify me, hey, we got some more people, make sure Trump gets the extra money for the gold card. They can come to Zion. Alright, that's the plan so far. So yeah, I mean, that was stressing me out. Knowing that it needed to be done before Trump took over, because I knew what Trump was going to do, and it didn't. And then Trump is in office, and then he does the no sanctuary cities, and oh crap, now my work is harder. How am I going to do this? I mean, yeah, I know I parted the waters in 2020, but still. I know. I poured water all over the altar of Utah multiple times, and then lit it on fire with lightning bolt from outer space. But still. You're not supposed to tempt me. Which I should do that video too for you. Jesus in Utah against Lucifer at the top of the mountain. Okay, that's how it works. That's the book of the law. And so yes, those who are rejected from the book of the law, because if, for example, my family here in Utah, assuming they're still in Utah, assuming they're still alive, think they're going to come to Zion, I will see them on the list from their bishop and through the stake president and say, nope, these people are rejected. Shurtleff, nope. Cox, nope. Oh, they were in leadership in the church? Nope. Oh, they were on the Strengthening Church Members Committee? No. Mendenhall? Homewrecker Mendenhall? Nope. So there's a long list of people who aren't coming, but I'm pretty sure they aren't going to want to come when they know I'm in charge. But nonetheless, nobody's going to sneak in either. So they know who they are. So yeah, that's the whole judgment thing also, in case that wasn't understood. There at the command center when you guys arrive, that is your judgment. The book of the law is opened, and I make the connection, yep, go on to the medical, and then there's food, and there's showers, you get a new change of clothes, or you can get an all new pair of clothes, doesn't matter, need and want. And if you're a woman who likes to wear a different pair of clothes every day, great, please do a fashion try-on for me. You don't have to, but I would really like it, etc. So yeah, Linda, you're good to go. Good to go. You can come to Zion. So, you're not going to be hooking up with me, though. I'm sure you got remarried anyway, right? Alrighty. Memories on the corner of my mind.